Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new video by Red Pilled American, and I come to discuss the most recent Supreme Court election that took place in the state of Wisconsin. So for those who don't know, there was a Supreme Court race, a spring election in the state of Wisconsin for their state Supreme Court. And it was a between a liberal and a conservative judge, and well, the liberal won badly by a lot. And this was an important race for, and that conservatives really needed for really the state of Wisconsin and for the nationally, because this had national implications too. Dems want to use the courts to rig the maps so they can give the two more Democrats at the federal congressional level, so they can give themselves two more Democrats for the House. And it's almost, at this point, it's almost guaranteed to happen, because our House majority is already so narrow as it is. So just a couple more Democrats that get in, they have the majority. So yeah, and potentially, impeaching Trump. That's why keeping the House was so important, because they want to impeach Trump. Yes, Trump that just won by America, that just sent a mandate, 77 million votes. They wanted to impeach again. You can't make this up. Now, and all the effects that are going to happen in Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin's in big trouble. It's in big trouble right now. And, people want to know if this state is over. Is it gone? I don't know. I have no idea. At the state level, at least, it's gone for a while. I don't know about the presidential level, because politics is different, and Republicans have done better at the presidential level lately with that here, just specifically because of higher turnouts and certain demographics that tend to vote more in these races that don't always vote in special elections. But state level is, we're in for a rough ride here, and it's sad because this was a winnable race. And we dropped the ball, and as a party, you could say they dropped the ball, and it bites, and there needs to be some changes in the Wisconsin GOP, because they're ineffective. They're totally ineffective. They can't win a statewide race in a non-presidential year unless Trump is on the ballot. They're ineffective. And winning, I don't believe, is in their best priorities right now. And here's why I believe Republicans, I think, sunk this race on purpose. The rhinos, I call them. Republicans that are globalists. They don't care about, they have their own special interests, catering to their special interest donors. These establishment Republicans, they've been plotting to stop Trump's agenda just as much as Democrats have, and they want to block Trump's agenda. So I believe they sunk this race on purpose to really stop Trump. It's a uniparty, people. It's a uniparty. They really are much different. They're not. And it's sad what we're dealing with. And I don't know. People need to understand, why do we keep losing these like smaller elections, you could say, at the state level, the swing states, you could say, where we're not performing what we need to. A lot of it has to do for two reasons. Demographic changes and essentially Republicans not voting like they need to. Okay? Some of the results that I resulted in they reported on who came out in the Supreme Court race show that only 78% of Harris voters came out to vote for the liberal Susan Crawford, while only like 62% of Republican Trump voters came out for Brett Schimming, the conservative. Do you see the difference? We have a turnout problem in Wisconsin among bringing out these conservatives who don't normally vote. Now, here's the thing. I don't think it's just a Wisconsin issue. It's all over the country, and particularly in the swing states, where you need to bring out more Republicans to be able to win, especially to overcome the Democrats' machine. The problem is we have a lot of... See, people want to know why we lost this race, and really there's a lot of reasons for it. There's a lot of reasons for why I think we're losing, but to keep it simple, and this is the most obvious one, the demographics have changed. The demographics of coalitions are not the same as they were just 10 years ago. Republicans used to be the party of doing better with the suburbanites, particularly. Like they tend to be a little bit wealthier, more white professional, they would call it, more of the managerial class, the higher ups. They have more professional jobs, so they're non blue collar jobs essentially. So office jobs, and they tend to also have a bachelor's degree. So, and they're moving more to the left. So, and so what happened is when Trump ran in 2016 until now, the demographic basically flipped. Trump has done way better with his coalition is basically blue collar, middle class union voters and young voters. He won Gen Z in Wisconsin. And doing better with minorities. While, again, don't mean to sound redundant, but Democrats now becoming the party of the educated, they would call it educated, wealthier suburbanites and seniors that are generally around 65 or older. And they tend to vote in every election, while Trump's demographic that I named, they don't turn out every election like they need to. And it's easy to be upset at them because why are they not voting? We need them to vote. And it's like these and a lot of them are Trump only voters too, and they're almost like Trump only voters. And it's like two reasons for that. Their voters they're not being reached, and because the GOP has not rebranded into representing the base that Trump has brought forth to them. The Republican Party at its current state, they're still trying to represent the old guard GOP, which tend to be warmongers, big business, you know, um, and, yeah, big business. And they, while, and also just, you know, basically generic conservatism that basically appeals to nobody. That really only appeals to um, only Republicans that were already going to vote Republican. So basically, only appealing to maybe the suburban Republicans that vote GOP no matter what. So it really, really not appealing. They're appealing to a demographic that basically doesn't exist or anymore, or if they are, it's, or if it is, they are trying to represent they're trying to represent the never Trumper movement of the GOP that basically only moved because Donald Trump. And so those voters are the ones still voting in elections and that are moving more blue. So because of that, Dems have been doing way better in state elections because Trump's base is not voting and they're only coming out for him when he's on the ballot. And that has to change. And yeah, I scold them for not coming out because they're not helping their guy. By not voting, they're not helping their guy get the people we need to help him get his agenda passed. So there's my criticism with them. But the GOP has to change, man. Wisconsin's lost 6 statewide elections in 6 straight losses in non-presidential cycles at the state level elections. And you have to ask yourself, things have to change. And Wisconsin's just an example. Things have to change at the state level in a lot of these states because I think some of them just don't only vote for Trump because they don't trust the GOP right now. A lot of these people are disinfected Democrats. They're probably culturally conservative, but they're not necessarily traditional Republicans. They're Trumplicans. And the GOP has not made that effort to appeal to these voters, to give them a reason to vote. And now we're suffering the consequences for it. And let's face it, I don't think the GOP is interested in doing that because they are showing us they really hate their base that Trump brought. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's devastating, and I don't know what's going to happen for Wisconsin. Is it over? I don't know. If it's over, there's a governor race there in 2026, and there's the presidential race in 2028. I hate to say it, but Trumplicans are the only ones who can win the Midwest. It's just the way it is, and that has to change if you want to win. And people think, did we make a mistake trading MAGA, these voters, trading when we had a more reliable coalition? I have to say it, I think it was well worth it. Yeah, it sucks in the here and now, but we need to put America first. Wisconsin needs to be put first at the state level too. And, I'd much rather have some Trumplicans than just rhinos who just sit all day and do nothing for you. So, I don't, a lot needs to be looked at, but the state GOPs, something has to change. And it starts with the leadership because you can get mad at people not voting. You can get mad at seeing us lose election, but that's not going to win us elections. We need to get on the ground. We need to figure it out. We actually need to build interest in actually trying to win elections, and it starts with leadership, and we need to get real people that have an interest in winning, but also that have the thrive to change, to actually appeal to the voters that Trump brought in. And let's face it, the GOP did not do very well in the suburbs in this Supreme Court race. I mean, Brad Schimmel probably was considered a generic Republican if he ran for office, and he got smoked in the suburbs by some of these people. Now, there's a lot of us. There's a lot of the abortion stuff that they were using, a lot of fear mongering that didn't help that situation. But let's face it, Waukesha, Washington, Ozaukee, that's not where you're going to win Wisconsin in the future. And let's face it, GOP better figure something out fast before Wisconsin is a fully blue state going forward. And let's face it, I think the GOP seems to be fine with that, because guess what? The establishment's goal and priority is always to keep their power. And if it's to make sure MAGA doesn't get in their way, they're fine losing to a Democrat. It's a sad reality. But we need to figure something out soon. What we can do to build infrastructure at the state level to bring out these voters who don't always vote. And I think it's not only building infrastructure, but it's also the GOP needs to rebrand and start representing the base that Trump brought in. Because a lot of these suburbanites, they're not coming back. And it's just sad that they won't change, and we wonder why we keep losing. So anyway, this is all I got for now. There's a lot more I can get into, but this is just the piece of the puzzle right now of the little problems we have. There's a whole, I mean, I could probably write a whole book on all the problems of why I think Republicans are losing, but this is, I think, one of the big parts of it. And right now, I don't know how to fix it. I hope it can be fixed, but something has to change, and I think it starts with leadership. So that's all I have for now. If you like this video, please like or comment. Let me know what you think. Also subscribe if you like this channel, and hit the bell for notifications. Thank you. Have a nice day.